there you are. I've been looking all over for you.
Well, we are at season 5 and season 2 of Angel and Buffy, respectively. What a baller ass fucking intro thing. Thank you, Northern English bastard.
It's my pleasure.
But yeah, I think arguably a lot of people consider this the best season. I would not be opposed to disagree with them totally, although there's some clunkers like halfway through this season. But I mean, I guess if you judge it by a season overall, then it's, you know, I mean, that's how you look at it. But it's definitely got some 2 or 3 or 4 really just meh kind of episodes. I'm of a mixed opinion about it. This season came out 2001, which is when I joined the army. And so I wound up seeing all the way up to The Body was going to premiere. And that's the last episode. So I guess it's the robot one. I don't remember what the name of it is, but I think it's I Was Made to Love You. And then I went to boot camp and I begged and begged my roommate and my sister to tape Buffy for me. And of course, they fucked it up and didn't do it. But luckily for me, when I got to my new duty station, they had like a huge marathon going on UPN right before the season 6 premiere. So I was able to catch up on that. So that's pretty cool. Anywho, Critter, Northern, we are sans Toonie today because we were going to go live, or we were going to go do this yesterday at his request, and then decided to take his computer apart for Gen Z reasons. All I heard was Gen Z, stism, autism problems, whatever. So whatever the reason is, we are just the trifecta, but that's okay. The best of the best as it is. And I guess it wouldn't be, it would be remiss of me not to mention Nicholas Brendan, aka Xander Harris, passing very recently within the last few days. 2026, extracting a heavy fucking toll. What you guys' thoughts on this?
Well, I knew I know him from this show, from doing this podcast and from rewatching this show. And I knew of his issues back in the day. And, you know, you don't want to wish anyone ill. The guy had clearly addiction. I did do the reading. He passed away, quote unquote, peacefully in his sleep, which is good. But I think his body, health wise, he put himself through the ringer, and whatever help he was trying to get, it obviously just didn't take. So it's sad. And it's also sad that anyone dealing with any kind of addiction, and I'm assuming he was more of a drugs and alcohol sort of guy. So I guess he just put his body through the ringer. And then eventually, I mean, he's young, he's, you know, and I think his body just couldn't keep up with it. So,
yeah.
Sad.
Northern, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it was surprising, but not surprising, because I already heard he had a lot of fucking problems, especially with alcoholism and probably drugs as well. And he did not look fucking good. He did not look like his usual good look self. Yeah. I saw like at the last bit of footage of him as well. Yeah, piled on loads of weight, everything. His wife was down the midnight there, you know. So yeah, it's not surprising died early, but it's the way they're saying he died of natural causes. I mean, isn't that something that happens to you in your 70s and 80s? I mean,
but I think he accelerated his life by he's smoking right there in that photo too.
Yeah,
none of this is good. So.
I mean, I know he had some problems as well with domestic abuse and that, but I'm seeing a lot of like people posting up on Facebook about the time they met him, and he was real lovely to him. So I don't know. Maybe it could have been just the drugs, the alcoholism that turned him into a bit of an arsehole, and he had problems trying to get himself clean from it. Who knows? Who knows what goes on behind closed doors most of the time?
Yeah, good point. You're
you're
pleasant to the public, then you go home and kick your dog.
Yeah,
right. I'm of two minds about it. I mean, obviously he brought something very special. My sister actually texted me with his RAP memoriam. She's like, "Hey, you good?" And like texted me that. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I just watched the show forever. I didn't wasn't worshiping Xander." But I mean, he's been
together for 7 years back in the 80s.
Yeah,
really tight.
90s.
All right.
But it was, I think, like they actually wrote his drinking into the show, and you can see him get puffy in season 6. He gets it back kind of under control in season 7, but you could see he was already kind of, it was taking its toll on him. Now, obviously, someone decided to grab this image that you see on the right and then make sure that it's the puffy jacket. But I mean, his fucking hair went all gray, and he has that fat, alcoholic face, and he's smoking and he's drinking and he's probably doing drugs. And as far as his fucking family saying, "Oh, he died peacefully in his sleep of natural causes," yeah.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Does it rhyme with hab?
Yeah, exactly. So no, that's not it's not natural causes when you die in your sleep after you've been doing fucking drinking and drugs for so long. And it doesn't work that way. But that being said, and I don't have a lot of sympathy for people who abuse women either. That's, I mean, a pretty big, women and kids are kind of off limits as far as that goes. And I'm not super thrilled about that. I don't know all the details of that. I mean, hell, for all we know, it's a Johnny Depp type situation, but I mean, it's kind of seems unlikely given the situation, but who the fuck knows? We weren't there. So, I mean, it's a big loss. And like I said, 2026 definitely, I mean, apparently he was bedridden and couldn't even move around. So for 52, that's pretty fucking bad.
Well,
as far as that goes.
I can't
mean,
move around.
Oh, well, but you're 152, not 52. So
Woo!
That's like a big difference. So anyway, I mean, he had a big impact on the show. He had a big impact on, storyline. It's kind of interesting because in the comic, it's a little creepy, but him and Dawn actually get together and have a kid. And then, both, Michelle Trachtenberger and him both dead of, complications with substance abuse. So, and yeah, that storyline's a little creepy since he watched her grow up, and then fucking it's kind of a Woody Allen type situation. So not super great, not super cool, but whatever. It is what it is. It's almost like the Book of the Dead was opened for 2026 and they just started fucking, kicking ass and taking names as far as that goes. But who the fuck? I really don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know if it's just because we're hyper fixated on it, or if for real, like there's some kind of weird, like they're taking back all the people's souls that fucking sold their soul or some shit. I don't really know. Anyway, Buffy versus Dracula. I was excited at this premiere when I saw the preview for it. It's like season 5 kicks off with Buffy versus Dracula. I was like, nuh-uh, for real. And I thought we were getting like a version of Dracula, like Bram Stoker's Dracula, which is a banger ass movie. And that, obviously Gary Oldman is incredible in that. I kind of thought that's what we were going to get. And then we get this like cheesy, campy version of him. And that's not super great. I don't have a whole lot of it. If I wanted campy Buffy, I would watch the Buffy movie. Yes, Buffy's funny and whimsical at times, but campy it usually is not. This one is. And I'm not super pleased with it. I don't have a whole lot to say about this episode. It does have a bit of lore building, with the fact that Buffy realizes that she's entering a new phase with her powers and abilities because she's now officially outlasted any living Slayer. So that's pretty cool. And then on top of that, she's discovering that the power is rooted in darkness, or as Dracula says, your power is rooted in darkness. So
one vampire slayer, two.
One.
Yeah,
Many
it's actually a
vampire
funny line, that
slayers.
it is.
Interestingly enough, side note, for the Buffy comic, I know I harp on that a lot, but if you get into season 8 Buffy comic, it's pretty interesting because he does come back, and kind of a much cooler character in the comic, and kind of joins the Slayer initiative, at least for a little while. So if you have a mind, you want to see season 8, maybe we may figure out a way to do it later on down the line. I really don't know.
I like how on the cover everyone has a weapon. They're set for action, and what's his name? We got Giles over there. Giles over there reading a book.
Why do you keep calling him Giles? His
I
name is
don't know.
Giles.
The G isn't silent.
It's not Giles. He's so funny.
Giles.
But yeah, Dracula rocks up and just instantly starts putting Buffy under his thrall, or does he? So that's a bit of a question that people have had, as far as, and it was raised. I never really thought much of it. I thought it was just a situation like what happened with the Master, where the Master temporarily had Buffy under his thrall with some kind of mind control thingamabobber, and that's fine. It's already been established that's a power that they could conceivably have. But Drusilla has it. She used it to kill Kendra. So it's not like that's not in the lore. And the Master, for at least a short time, managed to get Buffy under his thrall, if you recall. What's up with the fucking vampires like behind Buffy's back like that? That's a very creepy image right there. Like, what is the deal with that?
Yeah, no, it's like it's making being bitten on the neck a bit fucking sexual, isn't it? It's not the first time we've seen this. We've seen it in we see this in images with the Nosferatu, everything. It's a very common image amongst vampires biting the necks of lovelies.
Yeah, no.
It's also like, as he's hypnotizing his victim, he's pontificating and walking around. He ends up behind her to lean in and bite the neck. So I guess that's the soon to strike pose that a vampire would take.
Yeah. Anywho, what I can't wrap my mind around is what they were going for with this. Were they just trying to make him campy so that they didn't have to have him as a returning villain because we're going to get the Glorificus coming up, or what? I don't see the point.
Well, I did look into the trivia. Apparently, he wasn't going to be Dracula. It was just going to be another vampire who happened to be very powerful, and he came in on a horse looking all cool, and someone said, "Oh, like Dracula." It's like, all right, we may as well use him since he's fucking public domain. So that might be the reason why.
Yeah,
public domain, because even Batman fought him. There's a cartoon movie of Batman versus Dracula.
Did he win?
Yeah. Well, Dracula or Batman?
Yeah, I would assume Batman. Did Batman win?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. But yeah, I mean, and there's some interesting stuff. We get the fact that I did kind of like how they worked into the thing that, like, because Dracula has been very showy and flamboyant with his gypsy powers and all that bullshit, that Bram Stoker wound up writing a book, and Spike is like, he gets all the glory, and now everyone knows how to kill us. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that actually makes sense to me. Actually, that's okay. Yeah, I get it.
There's actually, I think it's explained in the comics. I'm looking up a bit of the trivia, and apparently, he bought Spike bought Bram Stoker's Dracula to give to Drusilla, and Dracula apparently fucking destroyed it. So that's why he owes him £11.
I like that. I like that even better. That's great.
They should have put that in the episode.
Yeah, they should.
I like the not knowing though. It's just because it's already funny in it when he says the Ponzi bugger owes me £11. It's yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. And of course, he turns Xander into the Renfield type character, and it's funny. It's got some funny moments. I like the whole, how he's blatantly like under the thrall, but he's still trying to. But he's such a goofy fuck. It's most people just thinking he's doing his usual Xander shtick. And with the whole, did you really think you're going to be, take on the Dark Master, Bader? He's nothing but a
Yeah, and he
he's
says
gonna
it
fight.
later with the Dark Prince, then
Yeah.
goes Beta, which makes
Bader.
no fucking sense, but he's trying to cover it up desperately,
Right.
isn't he?
Right. His shtick actually leads to my favorite line in the episode, which we'll get to in a second. And then, Giles gets, taken with the 3 Dracula brides. And, it's so what was brought up by Ian on Passion of the Nerd was that Buffy was kind of playing possum with Dracula and decided to say, pretend like she was under the thrall, and then so that she could, but I'm not sure I buy that. She let herself get bit, and I don't know about all that. That's no. I mean, I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that? You think she was playing possum in order to take him out, and learn more about her powers, like Ian says, or do you think it's just a thing where she was under his thrall for a hot minute and then just recovered and overcame it? Because that makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, I think she was under his spell a little bit, because Dracula is very powerful. He just happens to be vulnerable enough to kill as well. That's it. And even Buffy's just as powerful, but she still has her weaknesses. She still has her vulnerabilities.
Yeah. Well, we know her vulnerabilities, because thanks to Hank Summers.
Daddy, when are we filming, Daddy? Come on, Daddy. Come on, Mama. Let's do it, Daddy. Let's do it. Let's film, Daddy.
Yeah, even the characters pretty much call out a fucking weakness of vampires. Buffy's got a type by Spike. Even Riley says, well, it's pretty understandable why you would go for Dracula. I mean, after Angel, there is some transference there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in agreement, I think she is clearly, from that other episode where she took out Adam, that she is more powerful and getting control and more skill. And I think it did get her under his spell, but just she was able to deal with it.
Yeah, that's what I think. I definitely don't think she was trying. Now, 2020 hindsight, after she deals with the threat, going to Giles and just saying, "Hey, don't tot her off back to England. I need you. Let's explore this and figure some shit out." And so I am down for that. And then of course, we get the big confrontation between the two of them, and he's gonna have Buffy drink his blood. I don't think she would go this far either. Yeah, I mean, I know she does the whole "ew, that was gross" and then whoops his ass, but at the same time, it's just like I don't think that if she wasn't under some kind of thrall, she would actually fucking do this. That just doesn't ring true to me. So I don't know.
I don't think that would have worked, because she rumor has it that she spits and doesn't swallow. So
you're horrible. You're a horrible person.
I'm sorry.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah, exactly.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Anyway, so yeah, they get the final boss fight, and of course Buffy gets the better of him, because of course she does. And she has a couple great lines. I don't want to say it because I don't know if it's going to be somebody's choice for their line.
It was probably Tooney's.
It's probably Tooney's. And I do like the little, I mean, okay, if they were going to do any camp, the thing where he starts to like regenerate and she's like, "I'm still in the room," like that would have been okay. But I mean, an episode that's already been fucking full of camp, is, I did like that he does that. And then she like gets him again. "I've seen all your movies," so that would have been okay. I mean, that's not too meta. Anyway, like I said, the world building does proceed, because we get this.
What are you doing here?
Buffy, if you're going out, why don't you take your sister?
Mom!
Oh, that's total bullshit, having your parent demand you take a sibling with you
on a date. Yeah, that's fucking.
Even if you went to the mall or the movies or whatever, like, bring your sister. Like, no, what the hell?
Yeah. No, that is weird. But again, that's So I mean, I don't even know. Do we even do the spoilers for the whole thing, or like what do we do with this here? Do we
Well,
do we
I'll admit I haven't really watched the show that much growing up, but I think
Okay.
most people have seen all this stuff and have read the comics. So,
I think so too.
I mean, spoiler alert, what, 15 years later?
Yeah, more than that. So anyway, like 26 years later, actually. So the big thing with Dawn, the big reveal, like Dawn is a bundle of energy that our main villain for the season needs to get back to her universe, and these mystic monks turned that ball of energy into a human person attached to the Slayer, which is going to be a little sister, so that the Slayer would protect her, which is kind of fucked up. And then they mess with everyone's minds to make them believe that like she'd been there all along. It's revealed later that moment that we see right there, Buffy's, spider sense or whatever was activated because, she knew something wasn't right. Also, we find out in the lore that the reason why, again, more spoilers, why Mrs. Summers Joyce winds up dying because she gets the brain, is because that was forced on them. Hank's okay because he's out banging his secretary, but because that was she's not a mystical being, that wound up creating that tumor in her brain and wound up killing her ultimately. So pretty interesting stuff as far as that goes, as far as the lore. So this is the introduction of it. And I remember thinking when I first watched it and how clever they were. And we'll get more in this in the next episode because it pertains to it. But it's so interesting that they chose that route to go, just drop this character on us and then reveal what they really are slowly in increments later. And I don't think I think it's not until like episode 5 or 4 or 5 that we find out what Dawn really is. And that's fascinating that they just decided to do that and didn't, just like they were like, they don't need to figure it out. Like there's no way they would pull something off like this today, in our Netflix type world. It would be insane for them to even try it. But I like it. So with that, there's problems with Dawn, surely, but with that, it's pretty interesting. So final thoughts on the episode and quote. I'll go first. Except for the very end, which is judging the episode by how it attaches to the season. I mean, the stuff before that is pretty forgettable. It does circle back into season 8 with the comics, so that's kind of cool. But I mean, I don't know if you can judge it like that. You can't judge how good a season 5 opener is by how a season 8 mid-season comic plot works. So, I mean, although in the comic it's pretty fucking great because when they're having problems with this vampire cult that has mystical powers, and they're like, well, since when did vampires have powers like this? And then of course they think of Dracula. So Xander shows up to Dracula's castle and is like, hey, we need your help, blah 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 blah. And then in the panel it's just him looking at Xander, and Xander bows his head and is like, master. So that's pretty cool. That was like a pretty laugh out loud moment. But I mean, I don't know. Favorite quote I would definitely say is Xander's. It always just, I don't know why it tickles me so much, but it's like when he just reveals to Buffy, after everybody leaves the room, and like Xander's supposed to watch her to make sure she doesn't go under Dracula's thrall further. He's like, hey, supposed to take you to the master now. It's this whole deal where I get to be immortal. You cool with that? I don't know why that makes me laugh, but it's just the way that his delivery of it is so good with it. So there's that. But I have another one, but if you guys don't say it, I'll say it because there is another really good one. But I'll wait and see what you guys have to say first. But Critter, please take it away.
I enjoyed the episode. It's not a strong episode. I think it was more funny than serious. I think what bothered me is that their Dracula, and I gave it some thought, reminds me of the character Richmond from the IT Crowd, who's just like this weird, skinny, emo, pale fella. Still, I enjoy. I think Xander's bits were funny. So I enjoyed that. And again, I keep beating this to death. I think the choreography is still pretty decent compared to like the first few episodes of season 1. I like, it's all well lit, even though in a dark castle. So I kind of enjoyed the choreography of the fights. And yeah, so I liked it. I enjoyed the episode. My favorite quote is after they encounter Dracula. Xander, oh please, he was no big whoop, and Willow, no big whoop. What about that thing where he turned himself into a bat? That was awesome. So I kind of like the fanboy meet your quote unquote heroes within the universe.
Yeah.
I found that kind of funny. That
Yeah,
even though they're
I'm
feeling
okay
the
with that.
feelings-
Yeah, that stuff
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that stuff. It's just the way in which they cranked camp up to 11. I don't.
Oh
really
yeah, and I also want to say, like, and again, you could overthink this to death. If the character Buffy, after 5 seasons of her life through high school, she's fighting demons and monsters and alternate dimensions and parallel worlds and dream. You could overthink yourself. Like when she goes and sees her sister, it should clue her in. Like, wait a minute, But then, how do you live your life every day thinking, oh, my best friend's a little off? Is he sick or is he been possessed? And I think
Right.
she's running in that crowd. And again, we also beat to death how come these people aren't carrying weapons with them every day? But
Right.
again, like you could overthink. Well, mom forgot my birthday. Uh-oh, she's probably a demon, and you'd lose sleep every night.
Well, it's funny you say that, and I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent. It's funny you say that though, but when they get to the robot episode, they all know, like, because they've dealt with it before.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like I forget what is it. I'm wanting to say it's April or summer or some shit like that. I don't know, whatever. The hot sex robot that Warren had made that's like stalking him, and then after the initial incident, they're like, so I'm thinking robot, and they're like, oh yeah, definitely robot. Like everybody says, like, oh yeah, for sure, it's definitely a robot. Like there's not even a question. It's like, oh, of course, it's like a robot. Yeah, duh. So, but yeah, I get what you're saying. And was that part of your favorite quote, or did you have a separate like?
No, that was my favorite quote where it's like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Northern, take it away, my friend.
Yeah, not really the best start to the season. It's kind of a candy episode with bits of the lore building. But,
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, Dracula, I just kind of feel when you've got guys like Gary Oldman and Frank Langella, Bela Lugosi, Christopher Lee playing Dracula, the actor who plays him does kind of feel in comparison. And I have seen him in other stuff. He is a very good he's very good at being these very charming European psychopaths, but I do like some moments. I like Giles kind of thinking of going back to England because he thinks that Buffy doesn't really need him. And he doesn't seem too bitter about it as well. He's like a father that's realized his daughter is growing up and she can make herself, she can take on the world a bit more these days. But
Yeah.
But I also like how Buffy is becoming a bit more desensitized to the whole, patrolling vampires because she's not slaying vampires now. She's hunting them, and even she's worried about this dark side of her. Like she's becoming just as bad as just as monstrous as the monsters she hunts. And
yeah,
I love how, and I really do love how she wants Giles to be a watcher again as well, to try and ground her and make sure she doesn't go over the edge too much. So that was good. Xander being the Renfield, yeah, it makes sense because he's like he says in the episode, he's the butt monkey, isn't he? Yeah. And yeah, Willow trying to really kiss up to Giles is kind of adorable. I mean, she doesn't want Giles to go away, so she's trying to make him feel useful. I mean, God bless you, Willow. God bless you. That's very nice. But apart from that, I did like I like how Dawn is actually a unknown relative that just pops out of nowhere done well, because they practically announce that she has been plonked out of nowhere, and it becomes part of the whole plot. But it is building a little bit of intrigue in the first episode. And my favorite quote is basically her talking to Giles, saying that she's gone out hunting and she needs Giles to be her watcher again. I thought it really does make Giles become a bit more useful. And season 5, he becomes a bit of a better character again because he's kind of been thrown into the back a little bit the last season, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He definitely gets more in the forefront and returns to Watcher stuff, and we'll see later in Checkpoint how that comes to a head. So yeah. Okay. So no one said it. I bet if Toonie Boy was here, he would have said it though. I like when Buffy starts getting the upper hand when Dracula tries to work his mojo on her again. She says, "I think the thrall has gone out of our relationship." I like that.
There are still some good quotes though there.
Oh yeah. Even listen, even a bad Candy episode of Buffy is still fucking great. So make of that what you will with that. But with that, we go on to Judgment with this was interesting. So this is when we were really doing the whole ramping up the whole Angel and Buffy back-to-back thing. I got off work early enough to watch both, and I just, because I didn't have this channel in my apartment, I don't remember, I don't know if it was that WB wasn't like widely distributed and I didn't have it with my cable package. So I just literally stayed at work. They were like, "What are you doing here?" They're like, "Are you getting drunk?" I'm like, "No, I'm just watching Buffy and Angel." They're like, "You're fucking gay as fuck, dude."
Gay!
But then I had like a crowd, like a couple of the waitresses like sat down with me and like rolled their silverware and stuff like that, did their side work watching Buffy and Angel with me. So who's fucking gay now, motherfuckers? But
hanging out with the kitchen staff.
Yeah, exactly. So this is interesting. How we have the whole, they introduce Lauren, they introduce where the characters are at in this, at this point, Cordy's a better actress. She's doing better, although it never really goes anywhere. Like the big thing she does this season is get a fucking commercial. So like whatever. I don't know if this was supposed to be a stage play. I love the beeper 911 thing. That's so true. Boy, that really dates this fucking, beeper 911. I like the fact that what's his name? Wesley has a colored beeper because of course he does. And I like this. So they have the whole detective whiteboard here. I have one of these as well. It's like literally right behind me. So to keep I use it for dual purpose. One, to work on like my manuscripts and stuff for my writing, but it's also a thing that I do for for case, like situation security stuff, and or so this tickles me watching that type of thing. We get introduced to Lorne, who at this point is just known as the host, but that we do get there, and he runs the karaoke bar that you sing and you get, I don't know if he charges for it. That's never really established. I know there's a cover charge to get in or whatever, because they do mention that, but I don't know if there's a 3-drink minimum in order to get your aura read.
I don't know. Maybe yeah.
Sorry, I had a little allergy coughing fit there. I had to mute my mic because I'm not.
Yeah, it is getting around to it's spring in it, so yeah, it's gonna come across a bit more.
We find out what's happened with Darla. Her whole purpose is to turn Angel evil again. So that's interesting. We get a lot more lore building with like how this connects with the last couple seasons of Buffy, and I thought bringing Darla back was pretty fucking interesting as far as that goes. What is this guy's Merle? I think that guy's name is Merle. He winds up becoming a let me get him here. Merle winds up becoming like a recurring character that comes back just to like snitch when they want to get information or whatever. And then when Angel goes dark, he actually winds up like torturing him or whatever. He's a cool character. Unfortunately, he gets a bad demise. It's not a good shot of him right there, but at this point, Wesley knows him. Wesley's been developing, what do you call it? Contacts and things like that. Wesley's the first one that actually becomes like a real like detective. I like this whole thing with the karaoke bar for demons, and I love Lauren as a character. Lauren's just great as a character. I like the fact that you can't bring weapons into Caritas and shit like that. So it's all good stuff. This is just a banger of an opening episode, and the big plot is that there's like a chick that's pregnant with a chosen one kid. It'd be interesting if they followed that up and like we could find out like what kid that is now, because now the kid would be like 25 at least. So that's pretty interesting. Gunn starts to come into the fold, and you see he's less like dressed like the Dark Knight. At night he's actually just dressed in his like regular clothes and shit, and that's how he does. They kind of like soften his image up. He doesn't have like the little skull cap and the trench coat and all that stuff. And I mean, it would be weird if he did. So he kind of mostly just rocks like fucking jeans and a hoodie most of the time, and I dig it. And he becomes a pretty good detective as far as that goes. They wind up, he's not just the muscle of the group. He's actually a pretty good detective, and I like it. So the pregnant chick with the chosen one baby has a protector, and because he's a demon, Angel kills him, And then, of course, he kills the wrong guy. I like that a lot. That Angel actually killed another warrior of the powers that be, and that's something that could actually happen. I love the behind the scenes machinations of Wolfram and Hart, and we start to see that it's like basically, yeah, they have that other guy, Holland Manners, and some other upper echelon, but it's basically the people who are running it is, of course, Lila and what's his face here, Lindsay, which I find to be delightful. This fucking duo is a great evil combo duo, as far as that goes. But it's a good episode. Angel winds up being the champion for the girl and saving her, and then in fact saving the baby. We get a lot more lore and world building with it, and we get a few new characters, and then one very significant recurring one from our Buffy time. I like the little thing that Angel really does like Barry Manilow. He does like singing and stuff, but he's really bad at it.
Yeah, Angel's a bit of a fucking dog when you think about it. He's like into ballet and all that lot as well, as revealed later. He can be a bit of a dog. He's kind of charming when he is.
I do also enjoy from that other episode where he had a vision of how bad he dances, which is why he doesn't dance. So all these his hobbies completely go against this brooding dark hero. Ballet, a fear of dancing, karaoke.
Yeah. But yeah, no, all good stuff. I find it to be a very, very good episode. I really enjoy it. Obviously there's consequences to the previous episode and everything that entails, because it winds up being a situation where Angel is, the thing with Lindsay now has like a blood vendetta against him because of the fucking hand, and then on top of that he starts falling in love with fucking Darla, which is also interesting. And then we end it. I was so excited. I was so fucking excited. He goes to visit Faith. We started a little bit to get to the mission statement of the show, which is basically, hey, we don't need to like rack up points. We just go out and help people. Like, that's our thing. Like, we need to stop, doing a thing. We're just here to help people. That's all it is. And he remembers that. And then, it's like, hey, let me go visit. And I thought Faith would be like a returning character and she was going to join Angel Investigations. But no, this is it. This is all we get. This is all we get till season fucking 4, man, with her. So that's crazy. I was so sure she was going to be. And I know her movie career was kind of taking off right around this time, but fuck, man. And I love how chill they are with each other. That, she's like, I broke a girl's wrist in here. She tried to stab me over some commissary, blah, 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 blah. I wanted to kill her, but I didn't, and he's so nice about like, is that person still alive? He's like trying to like say it in the nicest way that he can. And she's like, she lives to tell the tale. And, and then she's like, how about you? And he's like, I don't really want to get into it, but I had to sing karaoke. She goes, what song? He's like, oh, Barry Manilow. She goes, Copacabana. And it's like, he's like, I don't want to get into it. She's like, look at, I love they have such good chemistry, man. What the fuck? Why did this not happen? Why did we have to wait till season 4? This is such a cock tease. I was so excited at the time. I was like, yes, Faith's going to be a mainstay on Buffy on Angel from moving forward. I was so excited. And then, we get to, like each episode goes by and then we don't hear nothing from Faith again. And
well, yeah, without having internet at the time,
fuck. Sorry. Without having it, there's no way. I mean, even if you had like movie magazines like Cinescape and
and then like was she doing a movie? Did she want a little bit more money at the time?
She was doing it. Yeah, her star was rising. And Team Angel was getting a little bloated anyway. I mean, like he does get a good Team Angel, cast here coming up, and they don't have, and his team doesn't have the plot armor that the Buffy team does. The Buffy team, I think, only suffers like a couple of casualties by the entirety of the show, and he starts to he's already fucking one soldier down already. So no bueno as far as that goes. But anyway, overall, I really like this episode. I think it's a great season opener. I like everything that it does. So like after a meh Buffy episode, this one's really great. I did, if I'm gonna say a quote, I'd probably say I did like Charles already kind of clocking Angel's mentality, because when they go into the protector demon's lair, he's like, are you gonna, he sends Gunn to go do a mission. He's like, you gonna come with, or you gonna stay here and soak up the guilt? So I love that the fact that, and that just speaks to Gunn's character. He's like, he's already figured Angel out, like, and Angel's not even fucked up about it. So no, go ahead. Thoughts and quote for the episode. Critter, take it away.
Enjoyed the episode. I like the I'm gonna use the word wrong, infallibility of Angel. He makes a mistake. He kills someone that could have helped him in this case. I loved it. I think at one point, this is me being really nerdy. At one point, I believe it was this episode that we had just watched. There's a standard iMovie sound effect, dramatic sting used, and I have to go back and rewatch the episode to find it, but it's not that important. Love the episode. A lot of fun. God, I sound repeating myself, but I love the jousting on the street. Just so weird and random and very very of the show. My favorite quote: "There are 3 things I don't do: tan, date, or sing in public."
Ah, Christ! I was gonna have that one.
Oh,
as well.
I did it! I did the thing.
I feel like Tony Boy here now.
Yeah. So no, I also, getting back to what I've said before, how the demons have like a nightlife or like a life. So here's a bunch of demons going to a bar and singing karaoke, and it's like very very parallel, I guess, to like regular people going to karaoke after work.
Yeah,
So
I think I've said this before, but it bears repeating. As I think that Angel does the whole vampire underworld, like vampires, just not vampires, any demons really.
Yeah.
The demon underworld, just like having a life, an existence outside of just lurking and getting killed or killing. I think he does it a lot better, because Buffy does also try to do it. We get Clem, the skin demon thing, and that eats kittens, and a few other interesting characters, but we don't get a whole lot. And they do try, with the whole lone shark, and then like, Spike, doing kitten poker and things like that. It doesn't ring true. I mean, it's fine for Spike. Spike is a well fleshed out character on that show, but and we get to see the inner, like he has to go dumpster diving in order to like put his apartment together, because what do you mean? What is he going to do? Get a payday loan? So, that's interesting, but they more come alive.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, I think with Buffy, the villains, when they become more matter of factly or business like, is what happens more in Buffy versus Angel, where you're at a bar or a trading post or a karaoke joint.
Yeah, facts. All right, good stuff. Northern, take it away, my friend.
This is a much better first episode than Buffy versus Dracula.
Agreed.
Once again, we are seeing the cast have really grown into the roles now. They've got a bit comfortable, they've figured it out, and it's already starting to introduce the idea of having Gunn be a permanent part of the ensemble. And we got the introduction of Lorne as well, and the first time you see him, it's such a great way of subverting your expectations. You got the ominous music, he looks menacing, then he starts singing, and it's like, oh, so it's this kind of character. And I like how it builds on the world a little bit more as well. There's kind of this safe haven for demons we're just trying to get by, and that's about it. And he seems like the type of guy will go out his way to make you feel better, even if you're feeling completely down. He's a very welcome guy. He's very affable. He's very charming. I love a little bit more of the contrast with Darla and Wolfram Hart as well. But and I like the fact that even when you're trying to do good, you can sometimes do bad as well, and it can lead to a very unfortunate casualty. And I like the fact that Angel kind of connects with Faith on that as well, because she has done the same, and they're both trying to redeem themselves, and they're both kind of had a little bit of conflict in their conscience. And and it is a very good start to this first season. And since Critter already got my quote, I will probably go with Lorne asking Angel why Mandy. It's like, well, I know all the words. It's like, well, it's pretty. It's like, oh, bless you, Lorne. Bless you, Angel.
I love that Lorne takes the piss out of fucking Angel, he's like, calling him all these angel cakes. What are you doing, baby? And it's like,
he's so flamboyant, isn't he? He's you want him at every fucking party. If you have the dullest party, Lorne will laughing it up.
Yeah.
He's got this way about him.
Yeah. Unfortunately, fucking that actor, he died too.
Yeah, I know, but 2009, wasn't it?
Yeah, something about fucking rectal problems or some shit. I don't fucking know. But yeah, man, he passed away as well. Very, very sad. It's a pretty high body count with the Whedonverse as far as that goes. So, I don't know, man. But yeah, it's good. I have no real complaints as far as this episode goes. I think that the horse jousting thing in Main Street, it's kind of weird, but it's not too bad. Especially after watching like Doctor Strange, where they have the whole like mirror universe or whatever the fuck. So that's pretty cool. I don't have like too much of an issue with it as far as that goes. It's a little strange, but it's fine. Yeah, no, that's it's just a good episode, man. It definitely lives better in my mind than the season 5 opener. Season 2 and season 5, man, were way better than these seasons were way better than they had any fucking right to be. Season 3 is also great with Angel. Season 4 dips a little bit, and then season 5 comes back fucking hard as fuck. It's my favorite season, is season 5. But yeah, no, it's they're both really, really good, man, as far as that goes. Anywho, that's us. R.I.P. to Nicholas Brendan. In way of an outro, I do have a little tribute video that I utilized for my tribute the other day. So I'm just going to fucking play that again as far as that goes. And we will see you guys next time for episodes 2 of Buffy and Angel, season 5 and season 2, respectively. And we'll see you then. Stay toxic.
I mean, what is it? How do you get it? Who doesn't have it? And who decides who doesn't have it? Not one of them will ever know. Not even Buffy.
Know what?
How much harder it is for the rest of us. But you need a thing. One thing nobody else has. What do I have? I want some respect around here. I want, for once, to come out ahead. I want the Hellmouth to be working for me. You and me, Amy. We're gonna cast a little spell. They'll never know how tough it is, Donnie, to be the one who isn't chosen.
I want to break up.
Oh, and another bag of cheesy chips. To live so near to the spotlight and never step in. I'm just another great humiliation.
It must be really hard when all your friends have like superpowers. Slayer, werewolf, witches, vampires, and you're like little nothing.
Powerful. All of them. And I'm the guy who fixes the windows. Can you believe this? Like I'm some sort of useless lunk. It happens that I'm good at a lot of things. I help out with all kinds of stuff.
You have to help me figure this out, you know.
But I never help. I have skills and stratagems. I'm very... I get in trouble when Buffy saves me.
That's not true. Sometimes we all hope to save you.
I think in future perhaps it would be best if you hung back to the rear of the battle for your own sake.
But I can help.
You get hurt.
Ah. Okay, you and Willow go do the superpowers thing. I'll stay behind and hide around the Batcave with crusty old Alfred here. He's doing everything better. He's smarter and... I don't know, maybe I should just let him have it. Take my life, please. I see more than anybody realizes because nobody's watching me. Why is it that I've come face to face with vampires, demons, the most hideous creatures hell ever spit out, and I'm still afraid of a little bully like Jack O'Toole?
Because unlike all those other creatures that you've come face to face with, Jack actually noticed you were there. Maybe that's your power.
What?
Seeing, knowing.
Maybe it is. You're the one who sees everything, aren't you?
You can't let him just take your whole existence.
Why not? It's not like I was doing anything so great with it.
I thought you slept outside to avoid your family's drunken Christmas fights.
Yes, and that was a confidence I was hoping you would share with everyone.
Integral part of the group? Xander, you're the useless part of the group. You're the Zeppo. Look, it's Mr. Excitement. On another life or death donut mission, or are we just cruising for bimbos again? Giving them lessons in lack of cool.